Alright guys, we're going to start the fourth project here, which is the image repair. So, download the PNG from the day 7, and we just need to click and drag it into the start screen for Photoshop, and it'll automatically open it up for you. Right, on the left hand side, you've got all the tools very similar to Illustrator. Right, the main one we're going to start off with is the tool anyway, right? So I just left click on that. Now on the right hand side, you've got your color swatches, gradients, and patterns, properties as well. If you need to do any quick options there, and then on the bottom we have our layers. Now in the main center we have the main workspace. If you hold space and left click and drag, you can easily pan around. If you also hold the Alt and use the scroll wheel, you can scroll in and out to zoom in and out. Let's see here. Now, first tool up that we're actually going to use in Photoshop here is to select our white area. So we are on layer 1. We want to use the magic wand tool. The select object tool or the quick selection tool just isn't quite going to work. Then the quick select, if I quickly show you, click and drag and it paints in a selection, versus the magic wand tool, right? We'll make sure anti-aliasing is on so that we get a little bit of the hard corners. I'll hit Control D to deselect everything, and then I'll want to make sure my tolerance is at like 10. You can see I select all the white area, right? I can hold Shift, and then where that little plus is where your mouse is. So if I wanted that little spot, it says actually the very top. In fact, I'm going to zoom in a little better. Very top of the thing there. Sorry, not the plus, right? And then we can also shift click here and hit the delete key. There we go. Now, to separate these guys into separate pieces, we're going to use a selection tool. So I'm going to hit Control D to deselect. We're going to use the lasso polygonal tool. You could use the lasso tool where you just left click and drag, right? It's a little more than reliant on you drawing the selection and then letting go, and it'll finish the circle if you didn't go all the way around. And if I hit Control X and V and turn off that layer and select layer 1 again. Now, instead of clicking and dragging, I'm going to use the polygonal lasso where I could just go 1, 2, 3, just left clicking, right, to keep making draw out. And then once I get here, I can double click and see that it didn't quite get the whole thing. So I'm just going to shift and click add here just to add that to my selection, so that way I can grab that corner and Control V to paste again. Alright, select your layer 1. And we'll just go forward from there. 2, 3, 4. Double click from here. Control X, E, turn off. Select your next one. Spacebar. I'll do the large complicated piece. Double click. Control X to cut. Control V to paste. Turn off that layer. Go up and around. Make sure you select the layer with the objects that are on, paste it again, and then you can turn on all your pieces. Right? Now for placement, you just hit V to get your selection tool again. Right? And then we'll just drag these around. Get them semi-close. Just preliminary, we'll fix everything up with, in fact, we can see how well guides, lock guides, snap to, layer documents, yeah, we'll just use the arrow key. Let's see here, this guy in here for now. And then this one close again. Grab this one. So I'm just clicking on the piece I want, dragging. All right, now I'm going to zoom in for this, so the Alt mouse wheel, and then use my arrow keys. You can click and hold an arrow key to move it. Then Alt zoom out, Alt or spacebar and the mouse to pan. I'm gonna zoom in here. That actually looks pretty good there. Oop. If that ever happens, you just drag that up here and it'll dock it again. And then just zoom in here. Use the arrow keys. I'm going to check up here and see how well it's. Yeah, live with that. So that just leaves these two. This one here, actually. Get it close. Zoom in. There we go. All right. So I'm going to group everything together. So select the first one, shift select the bottom layer, Control G, and then we'll just double click it to name this pieces. All right. Now that I've got all those pieces, right, in case you ever have to come back, we're going to shift A to select all. Then you're going to go to Edit, Copy Merged, right, and Control V to paste that merge, and then you can turn off the pieces section. Although if you wanted to, you could place this over top. That way, when you turn this off, it doesn't really matter. But before we get going too far, we will actually go to Edit. And then we're going to go to Images, Edit, image. Yeah, Image. No, Canvas size is what we want. All right. We're going to type in the 1920 by 1080. 1080, right? Hit OK. Proceed. Right, now obviously we need to, I'm going to make sure I select both, so I'll just select this like that. That way I can hopefully get everything to line up here. Even if it doesn't, right, you can always get this here, or you can turn on the view, snap to, and document borders now. That way, for sure, you know this is fitting there. Now, hopefully, I turn, oh, no, so I now know that I have that there. I'm going to turn off both of these, right? That way I can finish fixing this one as well. That way, we also know that it is snapped to that is necessary, and that way we then can work non-destructively with our new layer, right? So from here, right, I'm going to name this raw photo. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. 1 second there. We'll click on here, right, and then we'll rename this raw. Raw. And then we'll just do image, or img for image, right? Of course, it's not quite there yet. There. All right, so then I'm going to click down here to add a new layer, right? This is going to be the repair layer, or repair. So let's see here. Sorry, here. Just checking notes here for a second. All right. Don't like that it shows the image there, but that's okay. On our repair, we can fix that anyway, right? So, all right, we're going to hop over here and look at, I'm going to show you the spot healing brush first, since this will be the easiest one, right? Just click, oh, I'm just going to quickly do the edges really quick. So if I left click here, right, I can hold shift and then it will draw a nice straight line just to do the edges really quick. I hold the shift key. Let's see. I'm going to increase my brush just so I can actually see. There. There. You can also see that I've also erased a few other lines. Now I'm going to decrease my brush size. Right now, you can click and hold to drag up your trace along the line to help erase it. Now, a little note, if it's not doing anything, it's because we need to actually make sure you have content aware turned on, as well as sample all layers, otherwise it won't sample the layers below, right? There. So this is where I'm not a big fan of it, right? So you want to be careful here. Do small chunks. And even then, this is where I might there we go. That actually turned out better, right? Doing it all as one chunk makes it a little blurry, right? So like here I would do it one area, right? Just nice little swatches, slowly fixing what we. There we go. Oh, I see. It's just looking like I have the edges there. I'll just go across this way. This one I can be careful of. There we go. Oh. Yeah, so see how smaller swatches work better? Otherwise you end up erasing a little too much. Especially when you want to have that like line kind of continue, and then even then you'll notice it's a little wonky there, right? So this is where I might swap out to actually the healing brush. So the healing brush is where I can take a sample over here, zoom in a little, see what you kind of got going on. I would just go straight up and try your best to keep your lines straight there as much as you can. Right. Then we can hop back to again to the healing brush. Little sections at a time. see right there where it actually got rid of the black line. That's not what I want. Right. Oh, undo. No. So this is the point where I might swap back to that other one, right? So we'll go to the healing brush, grab a sample of like right here, go down, right? Grab a sample here, go up, except for make sure I'm not crisscrossing it. Right, doing the best I can to match things as much as I can. Maybe shrink my brush a little. And try to make sure I don't twist it. I can go back. Oh, that one went a little too far. There we go. Very temperamental. Single clicks. Now, this is where it might get a little interesting. I'm gonna do this area first. Also grab that one. No. There we go. That looks all right. That one turned out okay. There. Getting rid of all the major lines slowly but surely. That one I'm gonna. This I'll zoom in a little. No. So this is where a point where I'm going to go back to that healing brush. Alt click there. There. Come back up here. Right. Just along that lines. I feel like I missed a couple points. There we go. Right. Then I come here quickly. Now. See. Now. Swap over here. That one worked better. There we go. Nice and easy, right? Oops, cancel on that because I didn't mean to click that. Now, for these bigger pieces, right, you're better off using another tool, right? So what I'm going to do is swap out to the patch tool, draw out a marquee or not a lasso selection, right? Then you just click and drag. I'm going to let go just like that. Slowly but surely blending those guys. You can hit Control D. I'm going to do the same down here. Drag out a nice little selection. Drag it down. Make sure you try to line it up as best as you can. Then I'll re-drag out my selection. Make sure those line up as best as I can. Maybe for the last one, I'll swap over the spot heal. Control D. There. So all that's left is over here. You can try the spot heal, see how it works there. That actually worked out all right, but I am going to use the patch for this bigger clump. Right, the idea here is to just make sure that we get like a nice, there we go, nice selection of grass, and it fits in perfectly like that, right? To get a nice repair. All right. So once you have your repairs, now this is going to make our group here. So I'm going to call this the fixing group, right? So GRP, right? Now to be non-destructive again, I'm going to hit Control A, right? Do our edit, copy merged, Control V, right? This is going to be our new section, right? In fact, you can technically grab these layers here, be like group, and call this the done layers, and then just make sure you turn that one off, or doesn't really matter as long as those ones are turned off and only the main picture is on. So